Marriage to a narcissist is like signing a pact with the devil. It traps you for years, possibly even decades. Once you're wedded to them, they gain an unspoken permission to subject you to their abuse while skillfully hiding their true intentions. They sell you on the idea of marital bliss, building a future together, starting a family, and living happily ever after. You buy into this narrative, often unaware of their true motives. They seem to share the same dreams and desires, creating a sense of familiarity that convinces you they're the one to settle down with, marry, and raise children. But behind this facade lies a hidden agenda. Unbeknownst to you, their aim is to exploit and control you, ensuring a constant supply of narcissistic validation without ever reciprocating. They manipulate you to perpetuate their cycle of power and control. If you're interested in learning more, I encourage you to subscribe. Your subscription helps raise awareness about narcissistic abuse and creates a community for survivors. Your presence here means a lot, and if you're new to the channel, a warm welcome to you. In today's episode, we'll dive deeper into this topic. We'll explore why marrying a narcissist is a total trap because they'll slowly kill you from within. Let's discuss the possible actions you can take if you find yourself in this situation. Marrying a narcissist is like stepping into a snare, a cunning trap. Why? Because when you marry a narcissist, you unknowingly become their full-time caretaker, doing everything from cooking and cleaning to earning a living and managing the household. You're the only one responsible for keeping everything running smoothly. But what do you get in return? Humiliation, belittlement, constant feelings of inadequacy, and the pain of infidelity. Your partner withholds love, care, compassion, and respect. And the ordeal doesn't end there. When it comes time for divorce, you face battles over custody, finances, and legal disputes. When you encounter a narcissist with the intent to exploit and discard you, there's an indescribable connection that forms. It's intense, unlike anything you've ever experienced. They seem extraordinary in every way. Charming, charismatic, and attractive. They make you feel like you finally found your soulmate, the person you've been waiting for your entire life. This follows a familiar pattern in narcissistic relationships. However, what sets narcissists eager for marriage apart is their urgency. They want to speed up every aspect of the relationship. They propose marriage quickly, wanting to merge their life with yours. They push to live together, get married, and become a permanent part of your life. That's how they present it, at least. But their true intention is to extract benefits from you. Imagine you've worked hard to achieve success, wealth, or fame. You've built a life for yourself, reaching the peak of accomplishment. Or perhaps you possess something they desire, a quality, an asset, or a characteristic. For a narcissist, the quickest way to gain access to these privileges and secure a continuous supply is to marry you. It's a simple equation. Their behavior revolves around their self-interest and ego. Narcissists don't marry for genuine reasons. In reality, they marry for the benefits they can gain from being with you. As time passes, the initial intensity fades away and a transformation occurs. The qualities they once admired now become supposed flaws. They become ashamed of you, hesitant to introduce you to their friends. They start seeing themselves as superior to you, whether it's about your appearance, weight, or any other perceived weaknesses. Their supporters reinforce this superiority, further fueling their perspective. Everyone questions the compatibility of your relationship. You find yourself bombarded with criticisms, from being too needy to being too independent, from being too demanding to being too clingy. Every aspect of you becomes an issue, leading to an exhausting cycle of trying to find balance. You long for the return of the person they were when you first fell in love. The person they have transformed into feels unrecognizable, leaving you confused about who they are. Yet you find yourself irresistibly drawn back to them, chasing the sporadic crumbs of affection they occasionally throw your way. Escaping such a relationship is incredibly difficult due to the powerful bond formed, the trauma bond. This bond develops as you try to regulate yourself through their approval and by fulfilling their desires. You comply with their every wish, even though it never seems enough. They resemble parasites, draining your life force, your finances, emotional energy, and essence. They devour your resources while elevating themselves, exploiting your hard work. Instead of showing gratitude, they belittle you. It's as if a parasite has entered your body, sucking out your vital energy and leaving you empty. In a shocking twist, they mock you for being reduced to this state, conveniently forgetting that they orchestrated it. Marriage to a narcissist is one of the most deceitful traps one can fall into. In practical terms, it means becoming a full-time caretaker, juggling all responsibilities, finances, raising children, and managing the household. You become the enabler of their ambitions, but instead of reciprocity, you're met with abuse. They enter the marriage with little, but they leave with everything, leaving you shattered and realizing the inherent deception of it all. After the initial excitement fades, narcissists often either seek separation or impose a long list of conditions for you to meet. If you fail to meet their ever-changing criteria, they quickly exit the relationship. The trauma bond and cognitive dissonance make things even more complicated. They manage to convince you that you're the one at fault, the crazy one, the narcissist, or the abuser. It's a manipulation tactic that compels you to yield and make drastic life changes. You might end up selling your business, quitting your job, moving, and giving up your passions just to please them and meet their desires. You become completely focused on satisfying their needs. Consider the story of a man married to a narcissistic woman. She severed his ties with his family, drove a wedge between him and his children, all while he followed her directives, earning money and fulfilling her wishes. Eventually, she framed him as an absent father and left their country, forcing him to give up his assets in favor of her. He had to sacrifice everything to be with her. She manipulated him and guilt-tripped him into believing he was a bad father, completely distorting his reality. In such marriages, you may sense that something is wrong, but the narcissist's voice, even when they're not around, keeps telling you that it's your fault. This internal dialogue traps you, despite others advising you otherwise. If you find yourself trapped in this situation, take a step back. Consider the consistent feedback you're receiving from people who understand your situation. There is power in collective insight. Yes, you may feel guilty, but try to look beyond emotions and see the bigger picture. Set a deadline for yourself and be prepared to say goodbye. The narcissist creates an unbalanced dynamic. You give, and they take. Ask yourself why there's no reciprocity. Where do your needs and wants fit into the equation? Don't settle for mere breadcrumbs. They're insignificant. As you look ahead, take into account the consequences that others are pointing out. Shift your perspective by understanding how narcissists operate and acknowledging the betrayal that occurred throughout your marriage. Stop blaming yourself, as that's exactly what the narcissist wants. Show compassion to yourself. That's what you truly need. Self-compassion will be your key to triumph over the narcissist. Let me know in the comments if this episode resonated with you or provided any helpful insights. Until the next episode, allow the healing process to begin and persevere.